Hello everyone, welcome to an echo-free episode of Banter Blitz with yours truly. And my name is Gustafsson, and before I start playing Blitz games against you guys, I want to take a brief moment to give a shout out to our friend Peter Schindler, who just won his last round game in the Russian Super Final, which is pretty much the Russian individual championship. And that means that he will be tied for first together with Nikita Vityugov. And as far as I know, they will play a tiebreak within like 2 hours. So depending how this Banter Blitz show goes and when they start and so on, I might just switch to commentating Peter Schindler's tiebreak, which is exciting. Of course, we're biased here in the Chess24 offices, rooting for Peter Schindler, who will stop by next week and hopefully do some Banter Blitzes and some fun stuff with us as well. But for now, excited that he's in the tiebreak for, I don't even know, his 8th Russian individual title. That's pretty insane in itself. And he also made it to the top 10. I'm sure he's been to the top 10 plenty, and I'm not sure he cares about daily ratings and business and all that, but it's still pretty cool for Peter at his very advanced age to make it back to the top 10 by winning his last 2 games in this Russian Super Final. Kudos to him, and hopefully, or I really don't know how it's going to go yet, but this show might just switch to Schindler fanboydom at any given moment. Here's the current world top 10. Carlsen, Fabi, Mamadjarov, Aronian, MVL, Wesley So, Kramnik, Nakamura, Tingleder. And that's Peter Schindler, number 10. Alright. This, however, is an episode of Banter Blitz, where I play 5-minute Blitz games not against guests, but against Chess24 premium members. If you are not a premium member, use the whatever it's on the screen, chess24.com premium. You can use my bonus code Yanistan, which is still valid till the end of the year. Get 15% off. Then challenge me to a lovely game of chess. My username is Jan. You should see my name below the video. Let's get started. Guys, stop the time so you can post first game at 7:28. Nah, it wasn't that long, was it? I clicked on somebody. Oh, but I have a problem. I'm gonna have to maneuver. Let's see if I can do this. Maneuvering, not my forte. I'm more into forced lines. But I managed to bring this up against Schindler 61. I need to do a bit more maneuvering though. Some highly sophisticated moving screens around, because I always have two, what do they call this? 2 tabs open, one for the chat and one for my actual game. And smart as I am, I managed to start this game in the tab where I had the chat open. Anyway, knight of 3 d5 against Schindler 61. From the Germanies? Yep. Has a profile picture, which you guys can't see. It's out of the frame. But he does have one. And my apologies to Schindler and everybody watching. Well, I'm trying to get the chat back. But I like reading the chat during the live show on Chess24. So we can interact. You all know I don't have any, I was going to say any, but let's say I don't have many friends or social interactions. So reading this chat pretty much is my social life. And we are playing knight of 3, d5, g3, knight of 6, bishop g2. When black has plenty options. If black goes c5 here, typically I would try to get some sort of Grunfeld reversed castles, knight c6, d4. But most players prefer more solid setups, c6 followed by bishop f5 or bishop g4. Or a setup with e6 followed by bishop e7 is also legit. And he goes bishop to f5. Catching up with the chat, I'm not reading any complaints about lag or sound or whatnot, so I'm gonna assume everything's fine. This system with e6, I would probably start with h6, because I'm always paranoid about having this bishop grabbed with knight h4, bishop g4, h3, bishop h5, g4. But I'll try a more straightforward plan in this one. Play knight bd2, then queen e1, e4. Let's see what is what. The most common way to approach these positions nowadays is not to prepare e4, but to go for a quick c4, queen b3, and try to create some positional weaknesses on the dark squares or on the queen side. But I always found it a bit tedious to play like that. Even though, objectively, I'm sure people have reasons that they switch to the c4 business. Bishop e7. And Spills is saying, maybe now Peter will be the mayor of Yanistan. That's, I guess you don't mean it, but it's very insulting to the great Republic of Yanistan to assume that it's just a measly city that could have a mayor. So I'm not quite sure what you're saying there, Spills. Are you saying Schindler should be the mayor of the capital of Yanistan? Or some random city? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure if the capital, Yanopolis, if that can be ruled by Peter. But we could give him some seaside resort maybe to rule. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm also going to have to think about this position. I could go knight to e5, go after the bishop. But it looks more double-edged though. I was going to say it looks more fun to play e5 followed by knight e4, but it makes this bishop so strong that it does not feel correct. This feels like the right move to me. Sadly. Spills is trying to talk his way out of this slightly unpleasant situation when we find ourselves in by saying yes, the capital. I don't know, man. Where do I want my pieces here? First, I'll go a3 just so I never have to worry about any knight b4 shenanigans, even though it's one of these so-called lazy moves that are sort of useful but not really the main priority in this position. But what's done is done. Then the general attacking plan here, if I were to start some attack on the king side, should normally include some h4, h5 business. Trying to remove a bit of the shelter in front of the black king. So what I'll try to do is put my knight here, then bring my queen to g4, and then go for h4, h5. Hopefully provoking some weaknesses. Maybe it was more precise to start with queen e4. But who knows? g5, very aggressive. Looks like I don't have to do that much provoking when looking for the weaknesses. He wanted to grab more space by playing g4, but it does weaken the structure because now after, let's say, g6, queen g4, g5 will be a target immediately. So don't approve of that move, even though Schindler has played very well so far. And yes, I am aware, I'm a rating favorite. IR Baboon is saying Peter already has St. Petersburg. But that's also not the capital. Used to be, right? Petrograd. But I think not anymore. So yeah, I'm very informed on stuff. Now I know it's not the capital. But yeah, I'm not sure. Even though we could look into that. If St. Petersburg is named after Peter Schindler. Then again, it's likely. He lives there. It's called St. Petersburg. What are the chances that's a coincidence? All right, give me that pawn. The reason for my thinking phase is lines like queen g4, queen c7, bishop takes g5. But a pawn is a pawn. If he has to go f6, his structure would certainly get a rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's just too many weaknesses. So let the harvest begin. Time to get some more pieces going. One of the 3 chess rules I know, and that I've repeated in these shows ad nauseam, is invite everybody to the party. Activate your pieces. Don't have the rook on a1 and the bishop on c1 chilling. Of course, the more important chess rule that I know is grab all the pawns whenever possible. What? I think my speakers are talking to me. What do you say? Ugh, all this modern technology. I understand I left this pawn literally up for grabs. But I have hope that should I not win on time before, I will still take the pawn. And Schindler 61 has seen enough. Yeah, this is fairly hopeless situation. Exchange and a couple pawns down. He played alright until... Yeah, I didn't like this move, g5. It's too weakening. White might be a little better here. But just get the pieces out. I don't know, queen c7, put a rook on d8. Black is a little worse, but nothing too spectacular happened. Other than that, yeah, I would always play h6, bishop h7 early here to, you know, put the bishop out of harm's way. Spills is asking, is it rapid chess in the Schindler tiebreaks? It is, I believe, 15 plus 10. That's what I read in that chat. Let's play more games. What about our friend, what's his name? Kappa. Let's see if Kappa is there. He's from Canada. We're not gonna play the exciting game. Name Canadian cities on today's show, even though it is always a fun party game. Oh, I just saw Paco doing this. I wanted to look at it. I haven't done it yet. But Paco's my Spanish friend, Francisco Vallejo Pons. He played this line on the last Bundesliga weekend, this b5, knight a5, which I had never studied. I think it's called the Norwegian variation. And it's not really endorsed by theory, but whenever Vallejo does something, it makes sense paying some attention. And there is positional logic to it. You grab this bishop before it has a chance to hide on c2 or a2. And I don't think it's losing a pawn, because after knight e5 I can take and then play queen e7. The problem is white can occupy the center if he goes for a quick d4 here. I think that was Paco's game. d4, ed, queen d4, some bishop b7. And he won with black quite comfortably. It looks like Kappa, after deep thought, goes for bishop f7. Interesting move. He picks up 2 central pawns and some initiative. I guess I should put my king here so king e8 doesn't run into queen 8, because king e8 would run into queen h5 check. So yeah, this is a strange situation. It's a strange situation. I'm not sure who's better and why, but I'm sure we'll find out. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just both make moves. Then someone will win, but it might not have anything to do with who is better in this current situation. As I said, I didn't check this knight a5 much after Paco's game. It was more of a mental note. But bishop f7 certainly looks like a critical way to meet it. Now is bishop g5, e5 a big threat? I'm not sure how big a threat. If I develop quickly, I should hopefully get enough play, if he goes for that. Of course, he's not forced to. But it feels like, even though I'm giving the piece back here, that now I should manage to overtake the initiative somehow. Not sure how, but that's how it feels like. Queen d5 maybe? I hope this makes any sense. Otherwise I might just have my king in the center, be pawned down, and be very sad. That feels like compensation. If my king can find somewhat safe haven, things should be alright here. So very sharp position. Who the H knows? Kappa taking his time here. One thing he shouldn't do is castle, because g2 is lose. That much I know. Is queen e2 check, just king f7, queen h5 check, king g8, and I don't see a perpetual or anything like that. So I'm expecting bishop e3, and now I have to decide if I want to take. And I have decided that I do want to take. Who would have thought? Shocking development. I want to grab the pawn. It's not just greed though. After rook f1 I have bishop f3, when line like queen d2, knight c4. Looks good for black, I thought. Therefore I was half expecting instead of rook f1 that he would play queen h5 check. But then I had, well, I'm not sure if I would have gone for it, but I had the option of playing queen g6 with a good position. While now, queen c3 I can take here, and then fe, queen e2 is mate, king c1 I can also take queen e3, rook e8. So it looks bad for white. b5, knight a5, maybe that's the way one should play. I doubt it. I'm not sure about bishop f7, it's an interesting position. But I guess white is also better if he just occupies the center. But here it looks like I'm winning, so my first ever game with this line seems to have gone well. He's trying to buy his way out with knight f4, but now many ways lead to Rome. Queen f1, knight takes d2. Do I have a more spectacular one? Knight b1 would be cute, but then knight h4, Zwischenzug, doesn't have much point, so I'm gonna have to go for the sober solution. But here I'm an exchange up, and I don't see any compensation, so it's a reasonably straightforward winning position. Bring the pieces out. Go away, knight. Let's take some pawns for rainy days. Note to self, don't blunder any knight h6 checks. Yeah, it's a fairly hopeless situation for Kappa. even though he's doing his best to mix it. But there's not much mixing to be done here. My plan is to advance this pawn to a place no pawn has ever gone before without drastically changing his appearance and his gender in many cases. Kappa resigns. Thanks for the game, was interesting. As I said, this is a line that's on my to-do list. I haven't really done it yet, but maybe it's interesting for one game. Bishop f7, very sharp, and then not sure if it's correct to give the piece back, but it looked like I get a lot of activity here, so who knows. Anyway, interesting game there against Kappa. Let us be bully. No, not be a bully, because as I've talked about the other day, one new thing I've learned at age 38 is there is a school of thought that says if you have a choice between being right and being kind, be kind. So I'm currently questioning my whole worldview. And I'll be kind to RCKD, but I will try to find a way to crush him with kindness. That's the thing, right? Smothering people with kindness, or I believe on the internet they call it sea lioning. Is that a different thing? Topspin15 is asking, what is the target audience for your new video series? The one on the Italian for black that I think came out today, if you're watching this live. I don't know, it's more or less my black repertoire, so you could say it's directed at advanced players, but I always try at least to make it sort of digestible for everybody. So I prefer not putting attack on it, but or like a rating range on it. But yeah, it's a black repertoire the way I see the world, not necessarily the world, the Italian, and what I'm currently intending to do against it. And yeah, I hope many of you guys will like it. Or if you don't like it, I understand, because it's tough source material, but that it will prove at least somewhat beneficial to some of you guys. Because the Italian, it's annoying. I try very hard to make it a little less annoying. Not sure I always succeeded, but I certainly learned something doing it. Here we have some IQP position. I tried to sort of bluff RCKD by going knight c6, hoping he would spend time defending the d4 pawn. But he's calling my bluff. And rightly so, because after knight takes d4, knight d4, queen d4, he would go knight b5. Or queen a4 check, actually. And his initiative would just be way too strong. So I can't really take that pawn. And now my position should be a little worse. Rook d1 or bishop g5. Looks like a good version of the IQP for white. And in hindsight, I should probably have castled here, not played d takes c4. He goes a3. I still can't take here. Knight takes, queen takes. There's knight b5. Then next move he would take. I don't really want to take here, play that structure with a knight on c6, so I'll be humble. Go back all the way to e7. Yeah, so far, perfectly normal game. He's now decided to cover the pawn. No strength difference to be noted yet. If you play some move like bishop a2, I'll probably go rook c8, knight a5. And after rook a d1, I have to hurry so that he can't get in d5. I would probably go knight a5 as well. And then after bishop a2, consider taking on f3. Probably chicken out, but I would consider it. Has pros and cons, of course. I'd ruin his pawn structure a bit, but I'd also lose my powerful bishop. Choices. Probably it has to be done. Maybe he doesn't want me to do it and we'll play bishop e2, but that's of course a more passive square. These isolated pawn positions, and I can just play rook c8. Bishop d3, sort of a compromise. Not really a compromise, but a third square. And yeah, let's take it. b1 gets out of the way. The excessively greedy move would be bishop takes a3. Enough said. Even though after knight e4 I'm not sure I'm winning a pawn. Because then ba threatened and knight f6 followed by bishop h7. So I might have to curb my appetite for once. Play some normal looking move like this. dc1. All sensible moves. I'm running out of sensible moves to make. I don't really want to take here. Proof of structure after Effie, even though I'd be fine there. And now I have to start worrying about this knight being en prise in the center of the board. g6 looks dumb. Yeah. RCKD playing an excellent game. What's with the 1086? b4. Still don't know what to do. I'll just stare at the position before I make random moves and win on time. Pre-moving is risky in such situations, even though kudos to RCKD. My rook is pinned, so I can't take. Still, I can take this. Gimme. I'm guessing that when he played b4, he was expecting me to take en passant. But that would have hung the rook, so was not intending to do that. Either way, yeah, now with time running out, RCKD ran into some trouble, but played an excellent game. I personally could not really tell that I almost have 3 times his rating. Who do we play next? Let's play the Meraki, even though he's another one of those guys who don't like to play 5-minute games, which means we're gonna have to speed up a little bit. And he also plays one knight of 3 d5, which is not the move you would expect from somebody called the Meraki. Think he wants to go for a Meraki structure, but no such luck. Instead we play some Grunfeld sort of hybrid. This is not a line you see often because typically black waits with the move d5 until there's white knight on c3, which he can then exchange. Well, here this is sort of a theoretical line where white is a tempo up in a way. Okay, I can explain later, but it's sort of a transposition to the bishop d2 Grunfeld, where my bishop went to e3 in one move and not via d2. Knight d7 preparing e5, I guess. Is this a smart idea here for me to play e5? I never understand such things. Double-edged, of course, weakening the light squares in the center. But since the knight is on d7, I felt it could be an idea to have some fun against the Meraki. Now I should try to checkmate him quickly before all these weaknesses in my position start playing a role. Not sure I'll be successful in that endeavor. So how do I checkmate him? I should get my queen somewhere to the neighborhood, like to h4 or g6 wouldn't be bad either. Let's see if the Meraki can stop me from my cruel intentions. So far he is stopping me. But I'll still try to find a way. Even though queen on h7 is not exactly checkmate. Which is very upsetting. Yeah, he's played well. Rook e8, and it's not obvious how I can make progress. Now he goes f6. That's a bit more daring. Bishop can't take because then queen h7 really is checkmate. Maybe I should have given the check first and then taken. Yeah, I was probably stupid. Because now I can play rook f6, queen h7, king f8, which is still looks shaky, but is maybe a more harmonious setup. Or yeah, play knight f6 and not have me give that check. Yeah, not my proudest attacking game ever. Truth is, though, I can't really recall any proud attacking games. That castle's a little sad, isn't it? King f7, voluntarily going for a little road trip. Now we have the problem of the typical 3-minute game problem, that I'm gonna have to start making moves without talking nonsense while I make them. Which is the great curse of the 3-minute A3, best move in the position, I'm sure. Somehow he's managed to find counterplay. Thanks to my inspired play. It's a race. Are we continuing? Looks like we are. Thanks for the game, the Meraki. Let's continue playing people whose username starts with the or the. The Juicy or Juicy from the Netherlands. He goes 1 e4. Time for a good old Caro-Kann. The other day I was told that everybody and their dog plays c5 in this position now. I don't think that's really true, and c5 is a line I've never trusted 100%. But if that's what the cool kids do, might as well join the club. I do believe that c3 is an excellent move here. And I also don't know what to do after c3. So that's bad news. But I won't resign just yet. Note to self, don't blunder this bishop to some queen a4 check. Like often. You're tempted to go knight e5 and then you run into queen a4 check. And you're in trouble. I'm glad we talked about it. I don't know how to play this. Knight e7 feels a little tad slow. I do recall looking at this position once, but it's a while ago. Bishop f3, is that what I did? And then take? I don't know. I'll try to slowly win my pawn on e5 back, and then hopefully be alright. But I do remember that I thought this was a good line for white. Alright, so far we're developing peace. I'm still pawn down, but I think I should be okay somehow. It's not so easy to defend this pawn, and if he goes bishop f4, which I'm expecting, I can try to create some new fronts on the queen side, maybe by playing a5. After a3 I can take and then take on b4. So it feels like some play. Bishop c6, of course, possible. Well, I guess I'll play knight c6 and after b5. Hope that I can argue that he's overextended on the queen side. Even though I'm not sure I'll win that argument. b5 looks logical. I'm trying to figure out where I should put my knight. Knight b8 in a way is the most ambitious, so I can go for the d7 square. But there's also something to be said to just returning to e7, not standing in the way of the rooks. I can't decide. Queen b3, very ambitious as well. I guess I should take. Try to mix things from the other side. Queen h4. Keeping an eye on this guy as well. Bishop d2, there's bishop e5. So there's a lot of loose ends to tie up for the juicy. The juicy? The UC is not happy with the current situation. And I understand here. He's losing the pawn and his structure will not look very pretty. So, how to get this done? Go for some cheapos? Normally that is the way to handle business. Go for cheapos. Queen e1, knight f3, knight c2, knight b3, all kinds of jumps looming. Does that parry all my jumps? That'd be upsetting. But I have a feeling there's still untapped jumpiness in this position. Will I figure it out though? I missed rook c1. I thought it was hard to cover all of them. Knight b3 might be the one jump that is still available. I'm thinking very slowly, as you can see. You can see the wheels turning. About a3, queen b5, knight c3, queen anywhere, and I guess I'm winning. But yeah. If they take away all other knight forks, gotta go for this one. And the UC resigns because the knight got his say. Yeah, thanks for the game. The UC, I'm not sure where things went wrong for him. Somewhere. This rook e1, bishop f4 feels very slow to me. Normally white, I guess, shouldn't be so afraid to lose his pawn and instead try to develop quickly. But I don't really know how to play this line. It's a weird position. Thanks for the game. However, let's play against, I'm going to pronounce it Facu 2004. Maybe named after the famous Facundo. Not sure. He looks young and talented, fast. Was he slow? Nope. This position he goes cd5. Typically, it's not considered to be, of course, it's splitting hairs, but it's not considered to be a very ambitious move. If you have your knight already committed to f3, with knight c3, it's one of the main moves. But here, it's very hard for white to stop black from going bishop to f5, even though he does try. And if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. But, oh, actually, I'm just curious. If white goes e3 here, probably I can give a check, and then knight e4, because e3, bishop f5, queen b3 can sometimes be awkward. Anyway, he goes knight c3, which makes sense. I should spend a tempo on bishop e7, because once again, bishop f5, queen b3. Could be awkward, because it's not so easy to defend. Both b7 and f6. Well, now, after queen b3, I can go queen b6. My apologies. Without any problems. So the main move is probably bishop d3 here, takes. Either castles or knight b7 with rough equality. Here we are, in typical decent Gaspard position. The black plan is play rook e8, put the knight on e4. And then in the very distant future, try to create something on the king side. Well, white has to, sort of weigh his options if he wants to go for this minority attack. Which, of course, is a typical plan in these positions. But also opens the a-file for my rook and gives black some options for active play. Here after knight d2, this is an eternal question of mine that I never managed to answer. Should black play a4 here or not? Normally I do it after lengthy contemplation and then I whine about my lack of chess understanding that I never know if one should do it or not. Maybe one day I should ask some expert opinion on this topic, like an engine. One of those people. If this a4 is a good or a bad move. It has pros and cons, of course. It makes it harder for white to start his minority business. But black also has to keep an eye on that pawn. Which sometimes is annoying if you want to get the party started on the king side. He plays rook be1, which looks very sensible, trying to switch the conversation over to the king side. And once again, I have to decide what to do. b5, another very double-edged move, weakening c6, of course, but at least it gives me some sort of plan. Knight b6, knight c4. While Facundo 2004 will probably start preparing f3, e4. No, he goes for knight a2, opting for the b4 square. Interesting idea. I'll go here. Now he goes f3. I have a feeling I should do something on this side of the board before I get steamrolled. Steamrolled or steamrolled in the center? Knight e4 is an idea, but probably doesn't do all that much yet, though. Nah. So I'm going to try to find some targets over here. Rook b8, I don't know, maybe queen b3. Maybe queen a7, rook b3. Who knows? Maybe I should have started with queen b3. Hang on, e4? I can go knight takes e4. That's my first point. I'm not sure I will be adding any points to that list. Nah, give me. Take a little care that I'm going to checkmate it on f7. But I believe that with a minimum of care, I should be in good shape here. I'm not brave enough to play cd4, give this pawn. So I'll just go here. Actually not as straightforward as I thought. Queen takes d5 I wasn't even that concerned about. I was more concerned about knight c3. Still, I should also do something about this. Ugh, chess is so tough. Always all these options. So many options, so little time. My position looks good. This pawn is quite far advanced. How to wrap it up. Note to self, don't blunder any knight c6 tricks. Generally, the plan in such positions is always go rook e1 and help this pawn become a queen. But it needs some preparation, unfortunately. Long run, however, this pawn is just too much of a powerhouse. If, and that's a big if, I don't run into any trickery or deceit along the way. Knights can be jumpy, as we all know. Here comes the knight again. Where's he going? To c3 probably. Alright, let's change plans for now. So aggressive. I'm very close to blundering. Any knight fork, I'm telling you. I can feel it coming. And I am a master of the self-jinx. Not the ideal square, but I can't go king g7, g5. And king f8 was probably what a quality player would have done. But not what a pawn grabber would have done. Rook f1 is also not fun. Note to self, don't blunder any back rank mates with rook e8 or rook c8. Sorry for all the notes to self, but I need these little reminders at my age. Not to do anything stupid. But yeah, here it's game over since rook c1 is coming and king g2. d1 queen doesn't help. Thanks for the game. Facu 2004. What's the status with the Schindler thing? Is he playing already? Doesn't look like it, does it? Then let's play more chess games. What about Liam Hernan from Australia? Is this the time where I go into my usual based on nothing opinion that Australians and Canadians are good people? I've never been to Australia or Canada. Maybe that's what it's based on. From everything I've observed, those are the good people. d4, d5, c4, c6. So many options. Bishop f5, not one of them. Be careful developing this bishop too early in such situations. Because you always, before you go bishop f5, ask yourself, how can I meet queen b3? Or cd followed by queen b3. And if you don't have a good answer, then probably you don't want to go bishop to f5. Because that's always the drawback of developing a bishop. b7 weak. Typically you can only get away with this after white made a slower move, like e3. Bishop e4 does cover the d5 pawn, but not the b7 pawn. I have a feeling it's sadly even stronger to not take it, but to develop, even though, you know, it makes my heart bleed to leave a pawn like that alive. Mr. Dodgy is saying still one game going in the Russian champs, so that they said they would start roughly an hour after the last game. Yeah, I don't know what the situation is. Maybe I can finish this Banter Blitz show and then switch to Schindler Blitz. Marishi3 is saying, hey Jan, thanks for recommending American Vandal. Haven't laughed so much in ages. Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I didn't even laugh that much. I just thought it was witty. Especially if you've watched all these true crime shows like The Jinx or Serial or Making a Murderer. I've watched all that stuff, so I thought American Vandal was excellent. Commentary on that, coupled with, some high school drama. Or I don't know, it's fun, it's hard to describe. It's a mockumentary, but if you haven't seen American Vandal, I recommend it. Looking for the cruelest punishment here for Liam's many sins. Bishop g5 looks like a decent move. Then rook b8 you would have to play. Bishop f6, rook b7. Bishop f4 is also good. Some typical ideas like bishop e7, bishop c7, queen c8, bishop a6. Also cashing in. We shall find out. And Pramod NVS is back. Has not learned anything all these years. Keeps plugging the same shows. I believe that Pramod might be the only person alive watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've watched tons of Marvel nonsense over the last couple of years. I tend to watch most of these movies. I've watched Thor, Ragnarok, and so on and so forth. But even I can't get myself to say, okay, now I'm gonna watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's see what agent, what's his name, Coulson, who died in the Avenger movie, is up to in this TV series. Takes. The problem is, or I'm not sure if it's really a problem, might not be a problem. I don't have that much time for bad TV anymore. Because I don't have that much time for TV. So when I watch something, I normally try to watch the good stuff. Therefore, I haven't seen any of these shows. And I'm still judging Pramod. Even though maybe it's an awesome show. Spill is saying the new Star Wars is good. I'm always disappointed. I always go to the movies and say, alright, Star Wars franchise, I'm not sure if you guys are doing okay. Maybe George Lucas needs to expand his art collection. I hear it's only worth $600 million. So here's my contribution. Here's my 15 euros, whatever it costs. But I'm always disappointed. I didn't like this Rogue One, which everybody said was good. I didn't like this Wake Up. It's the Force, or whatever it was called. The Force Awakens. So I'll watch it, but I'll probably be disappointed as usual. I'm winning in this game, so sorry, Liam Hernan, that I'm not going into too much detail. But yeah, I explained the mechanism. Here he resigns, even though he could recapture, but yeah, it is fairly hopeless. And the big takeaways: be careful developing that bishop in this position. Play knight f6, then after knight c3, you have a choice between e6, d4, a6. And after e3, then you can think about developing this bishop. Alright, what are we talking about? Pramod NVS is saying, Flash is facing the most intelligent person in the universe. Oh, exciting. So is Flash gonna defeat him with his speed? Is he outrun him? Gonna outrun him? And Jogger is saying, have you seen Dark? German series on Netflix. Surprisingly good. In my humble opinion. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I guess I'll keep watching. Yeah, it's been critically acclaimed. I'm not that much into this small town, sort of half spooky, some sci-fi elements. It feels very Stranger Thingy to me, which I also wasn't that much into. But I guess I'll keep watching. I've seen the first 2 episodes of Dark, and it looked alright. Alright, let's play another game. Let's play our old friend Simba. And Gustav Chatterjee is wondering, how can Flash outrun someone's mind? I don't know, it should be possible, right? Oh, the Italian. I just did a video series on this topic, but rest assured, I've already forgotten every single thing I've said about it. So let's see. But Simba, he's not going for topical stuff. He's going more for, may I say, dullish stuff. Even though I think in my series I said, go d6, h6, don't castle. I can't remember what I said though. It's so sad that I can never remember anything. We'll find out. Generally, Hang on, now this position looks vaguely familiar all of a sudden. Very vaguely familiar though. A6 just so I can shelter my bishop away. On A7, should I feel the need? In such positions, it's always a bit of a question if you want to go bishop A7 directly or take on D4 first. I think you could make a case for both. I do believe that I've had a similar position, maybe this position on the board once, after DE5, Knight E5, Knight E5, DE, Queen H5, something like that. C6, Knight E3, Queen G5. I think it ended peacefully a long time ago. Sorry, but I can't recall any of the details. Now the decent question is, what do I want to do next if he goes like H3? Rook E1 makes it easier what I want to do next, because I can pin him. That's why I thought H3, just to stop bishop G4 made some sense. Not that anything drastic has happened here. DE5, Knight E5, bishop E2. Still looks fairly solid, but now it's clear that black at least has zero problems. And I guess I should keep this knight, not the bishop, contrary to my usual habits. How do I put pressure here though? Might be tough to do. After Knight E3, still very rocky solid for black, for white. For black too, but that's not the point. So, not sure. Try to make something happen. So far, not much is happening. He can't take here because F3 is hanging. So I just want to go rook A8 and then, I don't know, king H8 or G6, H5. You know, general hospital. G3, preparing bishop G2 when F4 might be a threat. Yeah, what can I say? It's an equal position. Not sure where my queen belongs. Put it here for lack of better ideas. Now F4 doesn't really work. And I didn't want to go to G6 because then after Knight F5 it's always a headache. If Knight E7 might be a threat and I can't kick it out with G6 quickly. So yeah, like I said, equal position. F4 surprises me. Yeah, that's just a blunder, isn't it? Because it's a pin. Now Knight E3 or Knight B2, both look good. Trying to decide on one of them. I guess I'll take here. Knight E3 won the exchange, but taking 2 pawns also looks like a decent option. Queen E2 is only moved, then I'll take on C3. And worst case scenario, swap down. Play the endgame 2 pawns up. Yeah, F4 was, I guess he just missed Knight C4. Bit of a mistake. Alright, how do I do this? I could go Knight D3, trying to pick up a 3rd pawn, but then after Rook F1, Knight F4, GF, I'm not sure if that's the most winning version of all these things. Then again, 3 pawns are 3 pawns. Ugh, decisions. Nah, I'll keep it simple. Takes rook a1 check, and I'm winning the bishop, so he has to take on a8, I guess, and here the good old 3 pawns are 3 pawners rule does apply. It's technically only 2 pawns, but they will queen, so Simba resigns. Thanks for the game. Simba, yeah, f4 was just a blunder in an equal position. What can you do? All right, noobs, what's up? Gaspard. Let's play Gaspard. Gift here is asking, is the sound weird? Nah, that's just my voice. Good old Nimzo Indian. Queen c2 is my main move, e3. I've also played plenty in Banter Blitz. Knight f3 is a move I used to play, but then with the rise of both b6 and castles, I sort of gave up on it. Gaspard plays h6, which feels too slow. Don't spend a tempo here, just to try to avoid being pinned. It's not worth it. Pramod is pointing out that Nikita Vityugov and Peter Schindler, who are about to face each other in the tiebreak of the Russian Championship, used to work together, or maybe still work together. Nikita has supported him during at least one of the candidate tournaments where Peter did very well in. So they know each other, which of course is sometimes a little awkward. Then again, it's what happens in chess. You are bound to play people that you've played before. Gift here is saying Jan's voice is playing twice. Is it intentional? My best guess, but I could be wrong, is that you have 2 tabs open where I'm talking in both of them, which sounds like too much Jan to me. But feel free to correct me and let me know if I have an echo. What's going on? Bishop f4 sent Gaspard into a bit of an existential crisis here. Now he goes queen b6, targeting f2, but after e3 is a move I wanted to play anyway. I think the queen is a little misplaced on b6. Often in these positions, as I said, h6 I wasn't a fan of, but typically the black plan is to be very humble here. Go castles, bishop e7, and then d5 or d6, because yeah, this early aggression with queen b6, e3 might only lead to some slightly misplaced pieces. Nothing too bad has happened yet, but these positions can be surprisingly tricky for black to play. d6. Actually, I think that's a good move. I'm preparing to go a5, but I'm going to try to prove that the queen on b6 is misplaced by playing a3, threatening b4. Queen back to d8. Yeah, that's what I said. This queen was bound to cost black some time. Now, a new target emerges. Gimme. Yeah, this has not gone well for Gaspard. But I'm sure we've all learned a valuable lesson. But mainly don't play h6. do we wrap this up? I don't know. Just get the pieces out, I guess. Auf der Hut is asking, Jan, will Schindler and you comment Vaikansé? No, because Schindler will play Vaikansé. I haven't fully decided yet what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna be doing commentary in one way or another. I'm not sure if it will be an English show with somebody else or maybe a German show. We'll figure it out these days. But yes, Schindler's playing. So there's that. And Gaspard does resign. Yeah, I think I've pointed out the 2 spots. H6 a bit slow, of course not losing. And then Queen B6 has good intentions, but it's just losing too much time. I could even have played E4. What to do? All right, one more guy I've never played before. Mr. Jameson. Jameson? J. Jonah Jameson? Is it J. Jonah? J. Jonah Jameson. If that's just your last name and you're sick of people referencing the sort of villainous dude from Spider-Man, I understand. And I apologize, Jameson. And J. Jonah Jameson is also spelled with an E, not an I. But I was right, he's called John Jonah Jameson Jr., better known as J. Jonah Jameson. I'm going to have to board this game against Jameson, because he's not here. But at least we've all learned something. How's the list looking? Oh, we have a FIDE master of the chess, Maxtor. Mr. Maxtor. He's not telling us where he's from. Where you're from. What you did. He plays the Spanish. Maybe I should give my new love, the Norwegian variation, another shot. Oh, he's prepared for it. He almost pre-moves d4. Like, he knew exactly what was coming. That's impressive. I believe this is Paco's game from the weekend, which is literally all I know about this line. He played bishop b7, maybe he played d6. Not sure. I will never know. I'm guessing I should wait with knight takes b3 because in some lines it might make sense to threaten d6, c5, c4, make him lose like half a tempo on a4 or c3 or whatnot. But it's all guessing. Bishop g5 looks a bit unpleasant. What do I do after bishop g5? Do I have to go knight e7? f6? Ugh. Maybe f6. 6, bishop g8, rook g8, strange position. He goes castles, probably c5, queen e5 check. Doesn't bother him anyway. Do I have time for d6? Feels excessively slow. We'll find out. Still a bit concerned about bishop g5. Maybe it's not the line I'm going to play the rest of my life. Sort of behind development. Even bishop d5 and then c6 something like rook e1 looks scary. Well, it's scary for both, I guess. I hope I'm at least threatening c5, c4 now. I'm still trying to figure out what I can do after bishop g5. This knight e7 feels so awkward. Like Nathan For You levels awkward. Fantastic show, by the way. If you haven't watched Nathan For You, what are you doing? You go c4. Do I play c5? Feels like a sensible move to make. Queen d3. Let's develop a bit, I guess. Slightly concerned about cb5, but more concerned about getting my pieces out, so cb5 is a problem I'm willing to live with for now. Not sure I should have given this pawn, but it felt like the right thing to do. And I'm all about doing the right thing, as you know. I have to figure out what I want to do after. For example, knight c3. I guess take here. Strange position. Queen b5 feels risky. I'm not sure anything happens. But it feels risky because the queen has to go for some adventures after bishop a6. It has to go to a4. Looks like Maxtor is not unduly bothered by it. And who can blame him? But hang on, there should be some tricks, no? c4 first, maybe? Bishop c4, I have bishop a6, bishop c6, bishop a4, bishop c6, queen b4, d5. Maybe this is a good move. Let's find out. Shall we? Maybe bishop a6 was strong too. It felt like something should happen with this queen here. Ugh, but I forgot. I mean missed. But that's what grandmasters like to say when they miss stuff. That the queen has squares on the king side. That's embarrassing, actually. What have I done? I completely missed that after bishop c6. The queen can go to f5 now, which is sad. So I have to change plans and pretend it was my intention all along. But of course it wasn't. Now we're back to intentional territory. How many pieces do you get for your queen? Bishop c6, ef, gf. Maybe not enough. It's actually very sharp. ef, gf. He has knight takes d5, bishop b5, knight e7 check, king h8. We'll find out. I didn't want to go bishop b5 because then fe7 does pick up a lot of material. And it looked to me like this queen is still trapped after gf. But as I said, knight d5 looks very messy. There might be other moves making it very messy. We'll see. At least it's a fun position. I guess knight d4. Now, what do we have? It's two pieces and, of course, a weak king for me. But such is life. d2. All right. Actually, not easy to play this at all. Still very scary. Maxtor, acting like he's Nash Medina for one of those guys. Sacrificing queens like it's nobody's business. h6, does that work? No. Rook h4 is the move I was expecting. Now white is running out of attackers. Well, after rook h4 it was still a mess. And Maxtor resigns here. Fun game. I think I played alright in the opening. And then here after Queen b5, yeah, c4 was probably a little stupid because I just missed the queen can go this way. Probably I should have started with bishop a6, queen a4. Now something like bishop d3. That was my first intention. Looks promising because the queen's misplaced. Well, yeah, got very messy after that. Thanks, Mr. Maxtor. How's Schindler doing? Is Schindler's game starting? Doesn't look like. No. Andrea Zantsev, Matlakov are still practicing rook bishop versus rook. So maybe still some time left. I'll play another game, then wrap this one up, and then have a look around, maybe. Set up a new show for trolling Schindler. Nah, for cheering Schindler on during his tiebreak against his friend Nikita Vityugov. Anyway, last game for the Banter Blitzing for today. Anybody I've never played before? I always want to play new people. Unlike in real life, where I never want to meet new people. Because they're strangers. Strangers are scary. In Banter Blitz, it's all about finding strangers. And we found Ma Pasquale. Plays e3. Most people play e6 when they're faced with e3. But I never thought anything was wrong with just pushing, being pushy. Now what I want to do is go e5 in one go when we're weirdly transposing to a line with colors reversed, where white sometimes plays e6 and then e5. These positions are considered to be equal, but with black that's a fairly acceptable outcome of the opening. Not sure if queen h5 is a move, but this... Oh, king f1 is a mouse slip. Sorry, Ma Pasquale. I understand that you wanted to castle. And that's upsetting when it happens. Still, even with the king on f1, it's a game. I played a6 to prepare b5, but then I changed my mind. Maybe I didn't have to. Maybe I could just have played b5, bishop f6, bc4. Okay, how bad can knight e4 really be? Queen d3 is sort of asking me to develop more pieces, and I shall oblige. Yeah, it's just tough to play when your king is stuck on f1 instead of castles. It's not a real game, and I am sorry. Yeah, he's hanging in there. Knight h4. I don't really want to give this bishop. How can I stop it? I've not really punished white to the max for his earlier slip up. Now white actually, I'm not sure if he's much worse anymore. Because after knight g6, hg, he can go g3, king g2. He's very much in business. So I'll take some risks, start messing around with his bishop. But yeah, I've clearly bungled this. Not sure h6 had to be played, but I didn't want to have to deal with any knight g5 issues, but it feels a bit slow, h6. g3. Let's go for this one. Bishop c6, queen f5 wasn't winning any material, so go for this instead. One big drawback of h6 is that, I was going to say mainly after queen f5, but it applies here as well. Can't play g6 because of queen g6, which is very sad. Pasquale still handicapped by his earlier king f1 move and now trying to extinguish his pieces from this kingside situation. But yeah, it's a tough position to play. That's why I played bishop f8 to set up this rook d2, exploiting the pin, targeting this and this, make some rook e3s in the making as well. As I said, tough position to play. Yeah, I see nothing for white. Many ways to get the job done here already. Okay, keeping this thorn in the flesh seems one fairly efficient one. This is a threat, rook e1, rook c1 won't help. So it's all over soon, ma Pasquale. And ma Pasquale resigns, rook c1, queen e2 was checkmate. That's the end of today's Banter Blitz. Thank you guys for joining. Apologies to those I did not get to play. Come back next time. We'll keep doing plenty of those. I think tomorrow I have one in German scheduled, a Gustafsson Blitz. The week after that, Peter Schindler is in town, so keep your eyes open for Peter Schindler Banter Blitzes. I'll keep my eyes open for Peter Schindler tie breaks now and check out with the smart people if we can do an impromptu commentary, because it would be fun to watch that. Final versus Nikita Vityugov live. Peter Schindler playing for the, I believe, his 8th Russian individual championship title against Nikita Vityugov. Should start any moment if you're watching this live. If not, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Consider going premium on chess24.com. I have a new video series on the Italian out. Currently working on a series for white for the Queen's Indian, which is mainly an excuse to say something about the AlphaZero games, because AlphaZero played some interesting lines against the Queen's Indian in 5 games of the 10 games that I saw Stockfish. that I saw published against Stockfish. So I thought an angle for me, because I'm an opening nerd, is at least to make it sort of opening relevant and look at how he played with white against the Queen's Indian and try to build a white repertoire out of those games. Anyway, that's what's going on. Thank you guys for watching. Maybe see you soon when we're talking about the Peter Svidler thing. Bye. Later. Bye later.